Quell Jackson.
Back to hoops.
Greg Swartz, Bleacher Report. What's up, Greg?
Hey guys.
What a kiss ass. What a kiss ass. And it worked. Wow.
How much were you paid to do that, Greg?
We don't need to talk about that.
Hey, we definitely have to get into the Cavs, but before we do, first of all, thanks so much for joining us. We're all big fans. Greg Swartz from the Bleacher Report. Do you have a winner as it stands right now from all of these, drafts or trades? Obviously, the Lakers moved some pieces, but the Suns, we think, got better. Dallas added a nice piece. Who are the big winners and who are the big losers in your mind so far?
You don't think the Nets are the biggest winner?
Yeah, clearly they are. Yeah, they are.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks are apparently getting Jay Crowder as of right now.
Just
that's going to help them too. Yep. So, as much as I hate to say it, and I tweeted this last night, I hated how much I liked the trade for the Lakers. I really did.
I said that earlier, Greg.
Yeah, Jason said the same thing.
I mean, when you were talking about, the fact that they might get D'Angelo Russell, and they were going to get Malik Beasley, and they were going to get Jarrett Vanderbilt, I immediately thought, okay, that's going to take 2 first-round picks. That's going to take both their picks. And the fact that they only had to give up 1, and they got a protection on that, and that protection only turns into the 2027 second-round pick, I thought that was a home run for the Lakers, because you're plugging in 3 rotation guys, possibly 3 starters, depending on which way they go, and you still have another good trade asset out there in the 2029 first-round picks. So as much as I've been critical of, Rob Pelinka and kind of the lack of support they've given LeBron over the years, and just I thought that was a home run trade for the Lakers.
By the way, the Jay Crowder deal, according to Shams, Jay Crowder for 5 second-round picks.
Wow.
That can't be right.
That's what it says.
That's real, and the Nets probably have 73 second-round picks now.
5 second-round picks.
What? It's to the point earlier. They're throwing these things around like they're
second-round picks.
I know.
It's not like the NFL.
I know, but
second-round picks have almost no value, right?
Yeah.
But 5? How many
good players are there that end up in the second round?
More than you would think.
Nikola Jokic.
More than you think.
2-time reigning MVP.
You're throwing a dart, but you can find
But
guys.
wait a second.
You're throwing
Every
a dart.
year there are 30 players drafted in the second round. What percentage actually become good players?
But there's also a ton of undrafted guys who make it in the
Yeah.
The
No,
NBA,
but my point is, who cares how many second-round picks they gave up? They got a piece that can help them win a championship.
Well, yes.
Okay.
5 though. Good
But
Lord.
I tend to agree. I don't see a lot of value in 2s. Kobe Altman sees a ton of value in 2s.
Sure.
He accumulates a lot of them. They were able to take 3 2s, move into the late 1, and get Kevin Porter. Now, it didn't work because of Porter's issues, but that was a good
talent.
trade. It was a good trade. He was a talented player. So you can bundle 2s to move around the draft board, but on their face value, I don't see a lot.
Greg, what do you think? You okay with giving up 5 second-round picks?
Well, Milwaukee doesn't have a lot they can trade. So, I don't think they can trade a first-round pick for the next 7 years. It's at least 28 or 29 because of all the first-rounders they sent out for Drew Holiday. So that's basically what they had to send out. So,
Wow.
In terms of the Cavs, Greg, we've talked about this. There's players you'd love, especially the Nets, right? Royce O'Neale, Joe Harris could probably both help the Cavs. But the Cavs don't really have anything to trade besides. And maybe Brooklyn wants more second-round picks. Maybe they want to have 13 second-round picks. I don't know. Do you think the Cavs have any ammunition at all to get any player of value?
There's not much. I heard you guys talking about it earlier, but Karis LeVert is probably going to be the most likely guy that would be traded. You've got your most favorable of your second-round pick this year and Golden State's. That's not a great pick, but it might get you something. You've got future second-round picks from the Lakers, from the Nuggets you can trade. I just think if you don't feel like you can sign Karis to an extension that you feel comfortable with, you're probably more likely going to trade him. But if you think you can get him back and you can get him back at a good number, I don't think there's a real need to trade him. So I tweeted this a couple days ago. I'd be fine if the Cavs did nothing just because they've been playing well lately. Isaac Okoro looks like he could finally be, the answer at small forward that they've been looking for. And do you really want to bring in somebody that would maybe delay some of that progress that he's made? So I'm fine if they don't do anything, and it wouldn't surprise me if they don't do anything at the deadline either.
Greg, one of the reasons I like the way they're playing so much is I don't know what the heck happened in the last couple of weeks, but Evan Mobley looks like a different player. He's more aggressive. He's getting the ball, I think, more in spots where he could be more effective. You know, we wanted him to shoot threes, but sometimes when you force somebody out further 20, 21 feet, it's a little bit difficult because your game isn't developed to a certain extent. I think he's much more comfortable around 15 to 17. He's been getting the ball, being aggressive, dunking the ball. You know, what kind of happened? Is this a concerted effort by JB? Is it just something his teammates are saying do it? Or is this just Mobley progressing on a natural rate on his own?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was, Donovan Mitchell missed time with that groin injury that gave Evan a couple opportunities to kind of step up offensively. Last night, they didn't have their top two scoring options, so he had another nice game. And I think Evan's just still – I don't think he knows fully what he's capable of because he is so talented and such a unique frame that, he might try something out and be like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can hit this shot. Oh, I can go around this guy or go through this guy to get where I want to go. So he's just so – raw still in his talent, and I think just as he continues to add muscle to that frame, and I still think he needs to take a couple more 3-pointers, even if he misses them, because long term that's what we need. Just his aggression level when he finally puts it together, seriously, he's going to be one of the most unstoppable big men in the NBA.
Wow, that was my next question to you, Greg. Was what do you see his top end being? And you just answered it. That if that does in fact come to fruition, he is the centerpiece, really, because of the commodity that he becomes. If he's one of the best big men, the other guys come and go and they're replaceable, but it seems like what he does, you can build a franchise on long term.
Yeah, I remember I had a conversation with Channing Frye, who we obviously all love here in Cleveland. I had a conversation with him around the All-Star break last year, and I kind of said, the Cavs were doing good. Didn't look like they were ready to win a championship. But I said, historically, teams need a top 5 or at least top 10 guy on their team. And at the time, we didn't have Donovan Mitchell. And I asked Channing, I said, do they need to go out and get somebody? Or do you think this is a nucleus that can grow? And he said, they already have that guy. He said, Evan Mobley will be that guy. He can be a top 5 to 10 player in the NBA. And I value Channing's opinion. I love meeting him and talking with him when he was here in Cleveland. So to me, as good as even Donovan Mitchell is, who's to say that Evan Mobley's peak won't be better than Donovan Mitchell's? And I think that's when the Cavs really can reach their pinnacle, is if you get Evan Mobley, reaching a level of a Kevin Garnett like that, and then you have those two all-star guards next to him, that's when this team is really going to enter the conversation to win an NBA title.
Greg, full disclosure, I didn't see the game last night. We were at the comedy show. I saw the score, didn't bother to watch the highlights or anything like that. But are you surprised Kevin Love didn't play last night? That seemed like a game to get him in. It seems like, I don't know, I was just surprised that he didn't get in at all.
Yeah, especially, no Darius, no Donovan.
Right.
I wonder how much of this, and you probably know this better than I do, how much of this is injury related with the thumb, because clearly the thumb is not right. I know that they've kind of officially taken him out of the rotation. But yeah, that would have been the opportunity to maybe go out and test the thumb, see how it's feeling. Kevin's a guy I still feel it could have a role on this team.
Totally
I still
agree.
feel like his rebounding, he's one of the top guys in the NBA in charges taken. Obviously, if hopefully, assuming they make the playoffs, he's one of the few guys that has experience on this team. I just don't think that we can write Kevin Love's the final chapter of Kevin Love's story in Cleveland just yet. And number one, obviously, he has to be healthy. We got to get that thumb right, because he's still an excellent 3-point shooter and rebounder when he's 100% healthy.
Maybe that is it, because I wondered the same thing. For him not to have played at all was really jarring, because it's Detroit. You're down your top 2 scorers.
He's out of the rotation.
Is it the defense? Is it just he's not playable anymore on defense?
No, last night they're up by 30.
Yeah, why wouldn't you put him in there?
you're without
Except for
two
to
of your
Greg's
top
point,
players.
if you really are looking at this as an opportunity, let's, practice some load management here. Let's get the thumb healthy, because clearly it is not right.
Is it possible he's ticked off and he's like, I'm not playing in a blowout game?
No, I don't think so. There is a pride and ego that comes into it in situations like that. But I talked a couple weeks ago, and he felt like he was turning a corner with the thumb, and he was going to get hot, and things were going to improve, and obviously that wasn't the case.
And the Cavs must see the same thing. It's
yeah.
let's, if they do shut him down just for a number of weeks, they don't. It doesn't matter what he gives them here. Greg, I wanted to ask you about seeding. Obviously, is important. I think it's vital that this team has home court for one of the playoff series. With Brooklyn sort of dismantling now, the Cavs have already moved into that 4 slot. Do you anticipate them staying in the top 4 now and getting to host a playoff series, which obviously gives them a better chance of getting 2 playoff series, which would be hugely beneficial to these young guys and I think to JB as well?
Yeah. I wrote before the season that I expected him to get the 4 seed. I didn't expect him to be better than Boston, better than Milwaukee, better than Philadelphia. The 4 seed is what I saw their probably ceiling this year. And that's important because hosting a playoff series is crucial to a young team's just development as they kind of find their way. Because after, Donovan and after Kevin, there's not a lot of playoff experience on this roster. I don't count the playing games as last year. That's not a true playoff game. So with Brooklyn, they're obviously going to fall down the standings. I mean, they have a lot of nice pieces. We'll see how many of those pieces are still on the roster after 3:00 today. And then after that, it's like Miami, but they're like 4 games back. Yeah. We'll see what they do with Kyle Lowry. I don't think they're going to, make a move that's going to jump them all the way up. D'Angelo Russell's already been traded. They're not going to get him. Toronto, I mean, they're going to need a lot of work to make a big second half move. So I think the Cavs are in a really good spot. That 4 seed would be perfect for this team. Like I said, if you even win 1 playoff round this year, I think that's a success just because of how young this roster is and how good those teams are ahead of you. I'd say the Cavs' time is coming, but if they get a 4 seed, they win a playoff series, that's a good season in my book.
Another trade in the NBA, Thomas Bryant, who went from demanding the ball from LeBron, has been traded to the Nuggets.
That's why. Right there.
Devon Reed and 3 second-round picks. Another trade involving multiple second-round picks. Second-round picks are like pennies. You throw them in the garbage. Pretty much. That's what they feel like.
Yeah.
Nuggets, do some research on superstars that have come from round 2.
Nikola Jokic.
Obviously Jokic. But there are Ginobili. Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, it's rare. It is rare.
That's the point. And there's 30 every year.
It
Hey,
happens.
Greg's got 2
But they
minutes.
don't have
Let's
a-
get one more
Greg,
question.
real
before
quick.
Greg, gotta let him go.
Real quick, who are some of the – we still got 2 hours, 46 minutes till the trade deadline. Who are some of the bigger names you expect to still get traded? Somebody from Toronto maybe? What else do you think you expect to happen?
Yeah, I want to see where OG Anunoby ends up because now if you're a Western Conference playoff team, like let's say you're the Pelicans or you're the Grizzlies, and you're like, oh, crap, we got to get our Kevin Durant in the playoffs now. Like, what are we going to do with this guy? OG Anunoby is going to be one of your best options. So cost is going to be an issue because I've heard 2 second-round picks. I've heard 2 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks. I don't think 3 is going to happen. But for a guy that's only 25, one of the premier wing defenders in this league, he's under contract for a good number this year and next. I would expect him to go for multiple first-round picks. And we know David Griffin's sitting down there in New Orleans with a ton of trade assets.
Yep.
So that would not surprise me to see Anunoby go to New Orleans. Yeah. The Grizzlies, like I said, that's another team that could use a big perimeter defender like that. I think it's just going to be a lot of reactionary trades to now Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers in the game today, is now in the Western Conference. What are we going to do to try to slow him down? So my eyes would be on the Raptors. I know they traded for Jakob Poeltl last night. It's kind of a win move. But if another team is coming at them and saying, we'll give you, 2 first-round picks and good players, that'd be tough to turn down if you're Toronto. So that's what I'm going to see. What's the fallout to this Kevin Durant trade going to be? And my eyes would be on the Toronto Raptors up until 3:00.
Thanks, Greg.
Greg, thanks so much
Appreciate
for
it,
coming
man.
on. We appreciate it.